Here at the church, we're going to pose the bride and the groom around the car. Firstly, we'll bring in the bride. Tamara, you come this way. We're going to position Tamara at the back of the car here. Now, we'll drag this around here. We're going to spread the dress out nicely so it falls well. Now be careful here not to get the dress dirty on exhaust pipes or anything like that. We're going to have the dress nice and full. We're going to have the bride maybe looking away over in this direction, holding the flowers just down by her side like that. Now we're going to introduce the groom. Glenn, if you come this way. We're going to put the groom right at the end of the car. We'll get him to just stand here like this, looking at his bride, head turned to one side. You can do that, Glenn, thanks. Now we're ready for the shot. We're looking down at the bride, looking away, her mind somewhere else. We have the groom looking at this beautiful bride that he's just married. Sorry. Okay, now look away. Tilt your head down this way a little bit. Yeah, that's it. What we have to do is be careful not to take every photo standing up high. We have to bring the camera down to about waist height with a lot of these photos so the bride doesn't look short. One important thing to remember is that expose for the dress. We want to find this true colour here. It may blow out the sky, but the important thing is to get the true colour of the dress and the bride's face. Your camera might be switched to automatic, but you may have a plus or minus on your exposure, and it's best to minus the light coming in just a little bit to get the exposure right. Don't forget, we're trying to shoot one person here is in white and the other person's in black, and we're trying to get a balance between. Always shoot for the bride, for the white dress, because you'll get a lot of reflection there, and the bride will always want to see detail in the dress. No one's very interested in getting the detail of the groom's suit. Okay, I've asked the bride to sit in the car now, and just looking in here, I'm not getting a really good shot. It's not glamorous enough. So what I'm missing is the lovely edge of the car, the seats and the leather. So I'm going to ask Tamara to sit forward on the edge of the seat so she's not sitting right back in. It's not a good shot. Sit forward, Tamara, and lean on this. Just one arm, and lean down and look out the car a little bit. Now look at me, Tamara. Okay, now we're going to move the bride again. We're going to have our arm outside the car, fingers spaced, or just push like that. Always ask permission to touch the bride. We'll bring this arm up in here and we'll get her to look out over there. That's a lovely shot. It's always good to not have the bride looking exactly at the camera, or it looks too staged. This looks as though we've caught her in a moment. What we're trying to do here is we're getting a progression of shots. Now the bride has arrived in the car, of her looking out at guests, looking at her to see if the groom's here, who's here, and we're going to get photos of her progressively moving out of the car. We're going to ask Tamara now to start moving out. We'll open the door. Always help with the dress, because these dresses are very heavy. The bride's not used to wearing something like this. Now sit on the very edge of your seat and lean down there and still be just looking at us like that. Tilt the head the other way a little bit. That's it, lovely. Now I'm going to shoot this up close, then I'm going to shoot it from right back here, and I'm going to come down on my knees to get the whole bride in. Again, we're using a flashlight with a softbox. These are an inexpensive Lumiquest, they're about $80, but it softens that harsh light, and we're getting the whole bride with a soft light here. It's normal for the chief bridesmaid or the father who's travelling in the car to come around and help the bride out of the car, or today we have the driver of the car will help as well. So Dave, if you help her get out, and we're going to sit Tamara onto the running board of the car. For this shot, we're going to get Tamara to sit on the running board of the car, and we're going to take this photo from down low looking up. So we'll just sit Tamara just down the corner there. That'd be lovely. Sideways. We don't want her sitting with the legs out. We want to get this a sideways picture. Again, we're going to spread this wrinkle the dress up a little bit, make it look interesting. We might get you to even put your arm down like that and turn the head. See how Tamara's tilting the head like that? And always be aware of stray hairs on the face, because that can cause you a lot of grief in Photoshop or on film. It's going to remain. So see how she's looking down and dreaming of something else but the moment. So we'll take this photo now. Peter, can I have the camera? Again, I'm coming down nice and low for this, and I'm looking up at the bride, trying to capture most of the dress. When we've posed the bride, it's great to move around and get every angle possible, because you don't know the shot that's going to really stand out at the end. So I'm going to move around. I'm going to take some from up, looking down. I'm also going to Tamara, just look up over this way. Now we're also going to take photos looking down, so we get a bit of the car, because we're not interested in the whole car. It's the bride's face with a little bit of the car. Just look over there again. Now look up at me. When you take a photo of a bride, ask her to look away, then look to you and snap that picture right when she looks at you, and it keeps the energy in the shot. What we're going to do now is pose Tamara at the front of the car, so we're getting the lovely headlights, the grille of the car with her flowers looking back. Come around this way, Tamara. And I'll get you to stand right at the corner. Standing at the corner is always better than standing at the front of the car. We want to standing at the corner. We fluff the dress out nicely, and we get Tamara to hold the flowers up with the bow in the front. And we'll get her looking over this way a little bit this time. And with her arm, we'll get her to splay her arm out a little bit. No, more out there. Yeah, like that. With this shot, we want to get the whole of the dress in, always remembering the feet. And we want to also get a little bit of the ground in as well, because the shot needs to be cropped sometimes, but it wouldn't be good to have it here or here. We really need to get that extra depth in the shot. Also, it's a great shot now to get some close-ups. Because I've switched to a close-up shot now, we have to watch that the light from your flash isn't burning out the dress. Now there's two ways of doing this. If you want to be quick and the moment's fast, put your hand across most of the flash and shoot the flash. Secondly, adjust your camera, the light meter, you can adjust down to stop your film down. Beautiful. Different cameras have different ways of compensating for light. You can either, at the flash level, push the plus or minus. You can minus the amount of power coming out. You can simply turn your flash away to get it bouncing a little bit, just catching a little bit of light across, or your camera has a compensation on as well, but you really don't want to be doing something compensating for every single shot, because eventually you'll forget where you're up to. So try and keep the camera normal and just twist your light away, reflect it in a bit, push it back in a little bit for more light, or, as I said, cover a bit of the light, not covering the lens. It's very important now to get a shot of the flowers inside the car without the bride or groom. I'm simply going to put these flowers Just lay them nicely on the seat. To take a photo of these flowers, I'm going to bounce the flash off the ceiling of the car. And we've got a lovely picture, a warm look of the leather and the flowers with the bow, a timeless photo. And it's a great idea to take the photo again in the front seat and try and get a bit of the instrumentation of the old car and the steering wheel. What we're going to do here is a typical pose shot. We're going to take photos including the flowers, and we're going to take it portrait so we can get the bride and groom in the background. And what I'm also going to do is I've focused on the flowers for one shot. Now I'm going to focus on the bride and groom instead and have the flowers out of focus. And that will give us a beautiful shot of the car, the flowers, the bride and groom at the church. When you're focusing on something up close or far away, you can use autofocus or you can use a manual focus. Now I find that it's better and quicker in this situation to use autofocus. You can focus on the flowers, halfway press your button down, then move the camera up and it'll still stay focused at the flowers, but then center the shot that you want. What we're going to do here now is take a very upfront shot of the car, which is going to be the major part of the photo. 2/3 of the photo is going to be the front of this car, and in the background we're going to have the bride and groom. And notice I've put the flowers here on the car because they're always interested in the flowers that they've chosen for the day. Now as we move up the back here, we're going to pose these two lovers together. Now we'll get you over here, the groom, and we'll get the bride to put her arms around the groom's neck, and we'll get the groom to hold here, and they're just talking to each other, and we'll get a number of shots here. But remember, we're looking down the car. These two will be out of focus. The main focus is the front of the car and the flowers. This is a real wide angle. Are you ready? Okay, bride and groom looking at each other. Here we've got a lovely shot looking along the angle of the car. If we just bring the camera around here so you can see the angle that I took. Down low, and it was a portrait shot, not landscape, portrait. That'd look a lovely photo for maybe the front of the wedding album.